Hello everyone, welcome to Officers Adda 24/7. My name is Soumya Prakash and we are coming up with this new series where we'll be covering the topics of different units and subjects. So today I'm starting with Principles and Practices of Banking, and this is Module A. I'm starting with Module A and this is Unit 1. And this unit is about what is banker and customer relationship. So what we'll be studying in this particular unit, we'll be studying first of all, what is the definition of bank, what is a bank, and then we will be studying what is a customer, and then we will be studying what are the different relationship which we have with different kind of customers. It will depend on the services which the bank is providing to the customer, and on that it will be different kind of relationship. So let's start. So first of all, what is a bank? What requirements are there to be called a bank? So first of all, as per Section 5B of Banking Regulation Act 1949, the term banking means accepting for the purpose of lending or investment deposits of money from the public, repayable on demand or otherwise, and withdrawal by check, draft, order, and otherwise. The deposit which the customer gives to us, that will be used for lending to other people, and that the deposit which the customer is giving to us, that can be withdrawn only through there is a set process, and that process is that withdrawal can be done through withdrawal forms by check, draft, or otherwise. So this comes under Banking Regulation Act, and Section 5B of the Banking Regulation Act, it means accepting the purpose of lending. For the purpose of lending and investment, we take deposit from the customers, and these customers who have given us deposit can withdraw their money only through withdrawal forms, draft, order, or check, or otherwise. Second is a company incorporated under Indian Companies Act 1956, Companies Act or Companies Act 2013, can be a bank, a banker, or a banking company. Under Section 5C of Banking Regulation Act, banking company means any company that transacts the business of banking in India. Under Section 7(1) of the BR Act, prohibits use of the word banker or banking company by a company other than a banking company. So Section 71 will prohibit any other company to use the term as banker or banking company if it is not a banking company. Section 7(2) further prohibits use of such word by an individual or a group of individual or a firm. If it is not a bank, it is not taking deposit for on lending to other customer or for investment, then that organization cannot be termed as bank. And these are defined in Banking Regulation Act and also as per the Companies Act 1956. A banker can be a bank, a banker, or a banking company. Next comes who is a customer. So customer is defined by different people in different ways, and there are three cases in which we'll be defining who is a customer. So a customer, as per John Peggett's definition, is to constitute a customer, there must be some recognizable course or habit of dealing in the nature of regular banking business. So according to John Peggett, there should be a recognizable course, there should be a habit of dealing, that the customer is depositing money, withdrawing money from us, they are coming for drafts or FDs, so they will be our customer. According to Dr. Hart, a customer is one who has an account with a bank or for whom a banker habitually undertakes to act as such. Either, according to Mr. Dr. Hart, either the customer has an account with any of the bank, then it will be called a customer, or he comes to the branch for acts for which bank is giving them services. So bank will be giving different kind of services even if it is not have the customer is not having a account with us. According to Kerala High Court, which is observed in the case of Central Bank of India Limited, Bombay versus V. Gopinath Nair and others, broadly speaking, a customer is who has habit of resorting to the same place or person to do business. So far as banking transactions are concerned, he is a person whose money has been accepted on the footing that banker will honor up to the amount standing to his credit, irrespective of his connection being of short or long standing. So whatever money the customer is giving, the responsibility is being taken by the bank that it will act according to the wish of customer, that whether the customer wants to get a draft made out of that or customer wants to remit it to another customer. So that is being defined that he should be habitual. The customer should be coming to the bank for various reasons. He can have account. He can, even if he is not having account, we still cater to many of the services like issuing draft or for other services as well, for remittance services. Suppose that the customer can come to the bank and do the transactions. So he will also be known as customer to the bank. Now, very important relationship a banker has with customer is of debtor creditor and creditor and debtor. So what does this mean? Debtor creditor means that we all know that we take deposits from deposit from customer and we lend it to our borrowers. We give loan to the borrowers. So when we are taking deposit from the customer, in that case, depositor is lending their capital to us. We are using that money. So in that case, when we are taking deposit from the customer, the depositor will become, I'll be using the word customer here, not depositor, although he is a depositor, but for simplicity, I'm using the word customer here. Customer becomes the creditor because he is lending us his deposit. In case of deposit, again, the bankers become debtor. Here, customer is, in case of deposit, customer is creditor, banker is debtor, because it is the responsibility of the bank that under whatever terms we have taken deposit from the customer, if he is depositing in saving account, then we are giving the terms that it will be the customer can withdraw it anytime they want. That is a demand deposit. So customer can demand it anytime they want. If they are coming for FD, they have deposited in term deposit, then they are parking their money for a fixed term. Since customer is giving us money, customer is creditor and banker becomes debtor. in case of deposits. So what are the main features of this relationship? Main feature will be bank is free to use the money in a way most beneficial to it. So bank will use that money as for investment or for lending, because till the time that money is in the bank, it will not lie idly, it will be used somewhere. So bank will be free to use that money in a way that is most beneficial to it. The customer should make a demand of payment. The banker is not required to pay voluntarily. What does this mean is that the customer will, whatever deposit they have given to the bank, they will demand it through check, through draft. They will come to the bank and they will demand it to the bank, but bank is not liable to give that to the customer voluntarily. The customer, even if it is a FD, customer will withdraw the matured amount of the FD. Either he or she has given the mandate of renewing the FD, then we will renew it, or if there is no mandate, then the matured amount will be with the bank, and it will be maybe if the customer has given the mandate to credit it into their saving account, we will do that accordingly, but we will not go to the customer that come and withdraw from our bank. It will not be done voluntarily. The customer will have to demand his or her money. Demand should be made in specified manner. There is a manner in which the customer can demand money, and it could be through check, draft, withdrawal form, order, or otherwise during working hours, not beyond working hours. Whatever working hours is defined by the bank, the customer can withdraw that amount only during that working hour. Now, creditor customer does not have any security from the debtor. What happens when we are giving loan to the customers? We take a security, right? In that case, the banker is a creditor and borrower is the debtor. In that case, we generally take any kind of security from the customer. But in case of deposits, the bank is not giving any security to the customer. So there is no security from the debtor. Law of limitation does not begin to run until a demand has been made for repayment in case of both demand and fixed deposit. In case of limitation, there is a limitation period. After that, we have to get the loan renewed. For that, we take revival letter or something, but this is not applicable in case of deposits. So these are the main features of debtor-creditor relationship, which is in case of deposits which the bank is taking. Now comes second relationship. And second relationship is with creditor and debtor, where we give the loan, where bank will give loan to the customer, their bank will become creditor. In case of loans, bank is creditor in case of loans, bank is creditor and depositor. The customer is debtor. So this is the relation of debtor customer, and in case of deposit we have a different relationship, and although in both the cases we have the same thing, debtor and creditor relationship with the customer. Now comes where bank act as a trustee. Bank is given the trust of the customer. In that case, a trustee is a person or firm that holds and administers the property or asset for the benefit of a third party. So if any trustee has been entitled, then that trustee has the responsibility of looking after that asset. So there is a trust on which it depends. Trustees are required to make decision in the beneficiary's best interest. Here, trustees, whoever is the trustee, they will make the decisions in the which is in the best interest of the beneficiary. So trustees are required to make decision in the best interest, a beneficiary best interest, and have a fiduciary responsibility to them. If a customer keeps certain valuable or security with the bank for safekeeping or deposit a certain amount of money for a specific purpose, the banker, besides becoming bailey, also becomes a trustee. If the customer is having some security which it is keeping with the bank, then in that particular case, bank will not only become the bailey, it will also become the trustee. Now comes bailey-bailer relationship. In case of bailey-bailer relationship, when a customer deposits certain valuable bonds, securities or other documents, like in the trustee we have seen that where any security is being deposited by the bank, the customer with the bank, in that case bank will become not only trustee, it will also become the bailey and customer will become the bailer. So if there is any kind of deposit, if there is any kind of valuables, bonds, securities and other document with their bank for safe custody, the bank, besides becoming trustee as discussed earlier, also becomes bailey and the customer is known as bailer. According to the terms of Section 148 of the Indian Contract Act, so this is in terms of Section 148 of the Indian Contract Act 1872, bank becomes custodian of securities of the customer and hence as a bailey is liable for any loss caused to the bailer due to its negligence. So here the bank cannot exercise any kind of negligence because bank will become liable for any kind of loss which is incurred by the customer if that particular whatever has been kept with the bank, if there is any kind of damage due to the negligence of the bank. So in that case we have bailey-bailer relationship. Next comes agent-principal relationship. According to Section 182 of the Indian Contract Act 1872, a principal is a person who delegates authority to another person, namely the agent. Suppose you want some work to be done. Suppose you have started any company and you cannot be there all the time. So you will hire some agent and he will look after the company on behalf of you. So in that case, you become the principal and the one who will be taking care of the business will be known as agent. Similarly, in case of some of the services which bank provides to the customer, the bank becomes agent and customer is the principal. And what kind of services do we provide under this? First of all, this is as per Section 182 of Indian Contract Act 1872, where it is defined the relationship of principal and agent. Now, among ancillary services which the bank provides, like remittance, collection of check, bills to pay regularly, electricity bills, telephone bills, insurance premium, club fees, etc. on behalf of the customer, in these cases, bank will act as a agent of the principal. So we will be doing work on behalf of the customer, and these are some of the cases under which the bank work on behalf of the customer. One is The remittance, all kind of remittance which we do in RTGS, NEFT, NACH, there are SIPs for which we have to do the payment. There are loans from other banks which the bank has to do the payment through different channels. It could be NACH, it could be ECS or anything. There is SI mandates. In these cases, bank becomes the agent of the customer and customer is the principal. Even for paying electricity bills and insurance premium, the bank will act as a principal, agent of the customer and principal is the customer. So here bank is agent and customer is principal. These are the examples which are given. With examples, it is easier to remember that in which of the cases bank will become agent, will have the relationship of agent and principal with the customer. Now comes lessor and lessee. Lessor and lessee is word used where we are offering something on lease. We all know about lease. As a banker, we all have heard about the word lease because bank also provides us lease money for taking lease at whatever centers we are posted. So we give lease, in which case, in case of safe deposit lockers, we have relationship of lessor and lessee. Bank is termed as lessor in this case and customer is termed as lessee in this case. This is defined in Section 105 of the Property Act, which deals with Section 105 of Transfer of Property Act, which deals with lease, lessor and lessee. Bank provides safe deposit locker to the customer for use on lease basis. So we give safe deposit locker on lease basis, and although there are few guidelines that what you can keep and what you cannot keep, but otherwise the customer, as a banker, you don't have any right to know exactly what is kept in it. There should nothing be like any kind of explosives or something should not be there, but the customer can keep there any valuable, they can keep documents, they can keep gold ornaments or anything valuable which the customer thinks that they want to keep it in the locker, they are free to do so. So that is why it is given on lease to the customer. It has the responsibility to ensure, this is the responsibility of the bank, that there should be no fire, theft, burglary, robbery, dacoity, building collapse do not occur in the bank's premises due to its own shortcomings or negligence. So bank will have to take all the care, bank will take all kind of insurance and bank will take all kind of care that these things doesn't happen, that there should be no theft, burglary, robbery, dacoity, or there should be no building collapse. And because this is the responsibility of the bank will have to pay if anything adverse happens. Now comes indemnifier and indemnified. Indemnifier and indemnified is where, suppose a customer in your branch came to your branch and he or she has lost demand draft and they want to make a new demand draft. So what will you do? You will ask for a indemnity contract. What indemnity contract will do is that indemnity contract saves the bank that if there is any, if suppose that duplicate draft you have already issued and the original draft comes for payment, then what will you do? So indemnity contract saves the bank from any kind of loss that can happen to the bank. So the customer will indemnify bank that any kind of loss that can happen to bank, he will bear the loss. So indemnity contract is a contract by which one party promises to save the other from loss caused by him by the conduct of the promiser himself or the conduct of any other person is a contract of indemnity. Here, customer is indemnifying the bank that because of his or her negligence, if bank bears any kind of loss, then they will be liable. They are taking that responsibility. And this comes under section 124 of the Indian Contract Act 1872. In transactions of issue of, these are some of the examples. These are examples which are given where we use this indemnity, we take this indemnity contract. One is duplicate demand draft or fixed deposit. In the case of loss of fixed deposit receipt also and demand draft, we take this contract of indemnity. Here bank will be indemnified or indemnity holder and customer is indemnifier. So bank will be known as indemnity holder and customer will be known as indemnifier. So we have seen different kind of relationship. We saw, I think this is the last one. Okay, we'll do a summary of this also. So let's revise again. One is debtor-creditor relationship, which is in deposit and loans. Then we had agent and principal. We have trustee relationship. We have lessor and lessee relationship. We have bailer and bailee relationship. And then we have indemnifier and indemnified relationship. Not a very difficult chapter, comparatively easy chapter. Deposit in the bank. Here, bank is debtor, customer is creditor. Loan from bank, bank is creditor, customer is debtor. In case of safe custody, bank is bailee, customer bailer. In case of locker, bank is lessor, customer is lessee. In case of collection of check, bank is agent, customer is principal. Purchase of draft, bank is debtor, customer is creditor. Payee of draft, bank is trustee, customer is beneficiary. Pledge, in case of pledge, bank is pawner, customer is pawnee. In case of mortgage, bank is mortgagee, customer is known as mortgager. Standing instruction, SI, in different kind of SI for any kind of SI, bank will become agent, customer, principal. Sale or purchase of securities on behalf of customer, bank will become agent, customer will become principal. Money deposited but instructions not given for its disposal, trustee, bank will be trustee and customer will be beneficiary. Article left by mistake, if there is any article which a customer leaves in the bank, suppose a customer came with some few items and while doing his business, whatever, he came to the bank for whatever reasons and he left few of his things in the bank. That was not done to give it to the bank, it was by mistake. In that case, bank will become trustee of those article and bank will become beneficiary. Shares given for sale, bank will be acting as an agent and customer as principal. And in case of hypothecation we usually take in case of movable properties, we take it as a security. So in hypothecation, bank will be hypothecatee and customer will become hypothecator. So we'll be doing some questions regarding what we have already studied in this unit so far. And we will see that whether you were able to understand the concepts or not, and can you answer these questions. So first question is, which of the following is true in case of definition of bank? First is under section 5C of BR Act, banking company means any company that transact the business of banking in India. Section 7(1) of BR Act prohibits use of the word banker or banking company by a company other than a banking company. Section 7(2) of further prohibits the use of such words by an individual or a group of individual or a firm. As per Section 5B of the Banking Regulation Act 1949, the term banking means accepting for the purpose of lending or investment. And the options are only 1 and 2, only 2 and 3, 1, 2 and 3, all are correct. So this question is based on what we have learned about the definition of bank. Which of the following is true in case of definition of bank under Section 5C of the BR Act? Banking company means any company that transacts the business of banking in India. Section 7(1) of the BR Act prohibits the use of word banker or banking company by a company other than a banking company. Section 7(2) further prohibits the use of such word by an individual or a group of individual or a firm as per Section 5B of the Banking Regulation Act 1949. The term banking means accepting for the purpose of lending or investment. Options are only 1 and 2. Second option is only 2 and 3. Third option is 1, 2 and 3. And last option is all are correct. You should be very careful of what is being asked. Don't skip this one, because sometimes what they do is rather than asking what is false, it can be asked what is not true. And when we are nervous during our exams, then we skip the word not. So be very careful that what is being asked. So here we are asking that what is true in case of definition of bank given as per the unit. So the right answer is all are correct. As we have seen during doing this session, that all these are correct. All are correct. Now you have to match the following and choose the correct sequence. Sir John Pigot's, and as we have seen, this is the definitions of customer, which is given by different people or as per the code. In the case which was against Central Bank of India Limited and V. Gopinathan Nair and others. So first option is Sir John Pigot's. Broadly speaking, a customer is a person who has the habit of resorting to the same place or person to do business. Dr. Hart, to constitute a customer, there must be some recognizable course or habit of dealing in the nature of regular banking business. Central Bank of India Limited, Bombay versus V. Gopinathan Nair and others. And C is a customer is who has an account with a banker or whom a banker habitually undertakes to act as such. And we will see the options as well. So option is 1B, 2C, 3A. 1C, 2A, 3B, 1A, 2C, 3B, or none of these? We did the definitions of customer in this particular unit, and according to that, you have to match the following and you have to choose the correct definition. So what is going to be the answer? It is John Peggett's definition was, to constitute a customer, there must be some recognizable course or the habit of dealing in the nature of regular banking business. Dr. Hart said, a customer is one who has an account with a banker or for whom a banker habitually undertakes to act as such. And Central Bank of India, it broadly speaking, a customer is a person who has the habit of resorting to the same place or person to do business. So it is 1C, 2, sorry, not C, 1B, 2C, and 3A. And so the right answer will be A. Now, next question is, Mr. A has availed home loan from your branch. What is the relationship of the bank with Mr. A? Mr. A is creditor and bank is debtor. Mr. A is debtor, bank is creditor. Mr. A is principal, bank is agent. Mr. A is bailer and bank is bailee. So what kind of relationship you will have if someone has availed home loan from your branch? So what will be the relationship of banker when there is a home loan? As we have seen in case of deposit, in case of deposit, customer is creditor and bank is debtor. In case of loans, customer is debtor and bank is creditor. So in case of loan, we will see that bank will become the creditor and A is debtor. So the right answer is B. Dash are required to make decision in the beneficiary's best interest and have a fiduciary responsibility to them, meaning they act in the best interest of the beneficiary to manage their assets. In which relationship does this happens and what are they called? Agent, bailee, trustee, indemnity holder. Dash are required to make decision in the beneficiary's best interest and have a fiduciary responsibility to them, meaning they act in the best interest of the beneficiaries to manage their assets. In that case, what will it be called? Agent, bailee, trustee, or indemnity holder. So the right answer will be trustee. Trustee will be who? Bank will be the trustee in case a customer deposits any kind of valuable for keeping it in safe custody. So in that case, bank will become the trustee and the customer will be the beneficiary, and trustee are required to make decision in the beneficiary's best interest and have a fiduciary responsibility to them, and meaning they act in the best interest of the beneficiary to manage their assets. Mr. B has lost her demand draft. Miss B, sorry. Miss B has lost her demand draft and comes to your branch for issue of duplicate draft. A contract will be executed where bank and Miss B will be which of the following? So what will be the relationship in that case? Principal agent, agent principal, indemnifier indemnified, or indemnified indemnifier. In case of loss of draft, if a customer is coming to your branch and you have to reissue a draft, then in that case, a contract will be signed between the customer and the bank. And what will be that relationship because of that? Will it be principal agent, agent principal, indemnifier indemnified, or indemnified indemnifier? That will be indemnified and indemnifier. Bank will be, answer will be D. Bank will be indemnified and Miss B, who is the customer, will be the indemnifier. In which of the following services provided by bank will have a lesser-lessee relationship? Where do you have a lesser-lessee relationship? These are the examples which are given, which we have already talked about when we were discussing all the relationship. So you have to identify in which of the following there is a relationship of lesser and lessee. Safe deposit lockers, collection of check, remittance when a customer deposits certain valuable bonds or securities. So what will it be? The relationship be? In which of the following services provided by bank will have a lesser-lessee relationship? Safe deposit lockers, collection of check, remittance when a customer deposits certain valuables, bonds or securities. Right answer will be safe deposit lockers. In that case, bank will have lesser and lessee relationship. Collection of check, they will have relationship of collection of check, and in case of remittance, we will have relationship of agent and principal. And in case of when a customer deposits certain valuable bond securities, we will have a relationship of trustee and beneficiary as well as bailer and bailee. So here we will have two kind of relationship with the customer, and here we have agent and principal. According to the terms of Section 148 of the Indian Contract 1872, the bank becomes custodian of the securities of the customer. What will be the relationship of the bank with customer? Principal agent, creditor debtor, bailee bailer, or lessor lessee? According to Section 148 of the Indian Contract Act. So in this case, answer will be bailee and bailer. So this is it. This is it, although we have not covered everything in the unit, because every unit of principles and practices of banking is very huge. As you have seen that even though the total number of units are around 65, Module A and B covers around 60 to 70% of the syllabus, and it has around 42 units combining Module A and B. It is very useful for all the bankers to understand these concepts, and JAIIB will give you that benefit that once you clear your paper, you're not only getting the benefit of the increment, you're also getting a lot of knowledge about banking, which is very useful as a banker. So if you're planning to appear for your exams in May 2025, we have already launched our batches. Paid classes will be going into detail and will be discussing questions, will be practicing also. So for buying that, you have to go, first of all, if you have not downloaded our app, then first of all, download the app from Google Store or Apple Store, Google Play or Apple Store, and then you have to go to all courses. In all courses, you will go to JAIIB and CIB, and as you can see that JAIIB May 2025, we have already launched our courses. Courses are available in both the languages. It is English as well as bilingual. And if you go to English, you have to go to buy now. And here you can use the code Y984. And you will see that you will get a discount here. So with this, we are signing off for today, and I hope you will start your preparation, because you'll have annual closing and statutory audit also before your exams. So start your preparation now. It will give you a lot of time to understand the concept, to understand it fully, and it will be easier for you to grasp everything right now, because in last 1 month it becomes very difficult to clear all the papers. If you are starting now, you can aim for clearing all your papers, all the 4 papers of JIB in one attempt, in one single attempt. So with that, wishing you all the best. Join our courses, and